Hello everyone, welcome to the new lecture of network analysis and synthesis. I am Dheeraj Singh, working as an assistant professor in ABS Engineering College. So, till now what we have studied is we have studied about the Fourier series, how for a periodic waveform we can a periodic waveform can be represented in terms of Fourier series. Then Fourier transform, how Fourier transform is useful and how Fourier transform can be find out using formula and using properties. Now, we will see some of the applications in circuit, how Fourier transform and Fourier series is helpful in analyzing any circuit. So, these are the content that we are going to cover today. First of all, we will see what are the effective values, how with the help of Fourier series we can find out RMS values, DC values, all the effective values for a circuit, and how the power factor can be evaluated with the help of Fourier series. Then we will see steady state response of a network to non sinusoidal periodic inputs. If a non periodic input is applied to the network, how it will behave, that we will see, how its steady state will come, that we will see. Then we will do some network analysis using Fourier transform, how Fourier transform will be used in the circuit analysis, that we are going to see. So, first of all we will see effective values and power factor. We all know that a non sinusoidal periodic voltage can be represented by periodic Fourier series, and the corresponding harmonic terms of the current can be obtained by applying the principle of superposition. So, this was the Fourier series we have studied, that is trigonometric Fourier series, and the effective value of voltage waveform is given by, we all know that effective value is always given by 1 upon t time period and 0 to t time period and magnitude of V of t square dt. So, Vrms, that is root mean square, because we have taken square root, and that is mean value because we have taken square of this voltage waveform. So, it will be Vrms will be equal to V effective, and it will be 1 upon t 0 to t, and V of t we know with the help of Fourier series any signal, any periodic signal can be represented in terms of sinusoidal signal. So, it will be 1 upon t A naught plus summation n equals to 1 to infinity A n cos n omega t plus B n sin n omega t square, and that whole is under root, and under root is represented by half. Now, when we will expand this, we will get it as A naught plus, this is the value A naught square, then A n cos square n omega t, we have cos square n omega t, and then we have sin square n omega t. So, we will get it as A 1 square plus A 2 square, because cos square plus sin square will get it as 1 plus A 3 square, and similarly we will get it as B 1 square plus B 2 square plus B 3 square plus so on, and its value is square rooted. Now, A naught square is represented by capital A naught, which is going to be the same, capital A naught and small a naught is going to be the same, plus half A 1 square. A 1 square will be represented by capital A 1 square, small a 1 square plus B 1 square, then A 2 square, which will be represented by A 2 square plus B 2 square, then A 3 square, which will be represented by A 3 square plus B 3 square. So, we have represented as half of A 1 square plus A 2 square plus A 3 square, and all the values are square root. A n square will be represented by, that we have said that A 1, if it is will be A 1 square equals to A 1 square plus B 1 square, which we have done here, and A naught is the average value or DC value you can say, which is represented by A naught, and A 1, A 2, A 3 are the amplitudes of the harmonics, whether it is first harmonic, second harmonic, that will be represented by the value of n. If it will be the first harmonic, its value will be represented by A 1, if it will be second harmonic, its value will be represented by A 2. So, if V of t equals to V naught plus summation of V n sin n omega t plus phi n, and we have represented current as I naught plus summation of I n sin n omega t plus phi n, where again we have represented the whole voltage as DC value, DC voltage plus all the harmonics, and if there is a change in phase, then again DC current plus all the current harmonics with the change in phase. Then their effective values will be given by. So, if we have this voltage and this will be the equation for current, then effective values will be given by DC square plus half V 1 square plus V 2 square plus V 3 square plus its value is half. Then we have RMS value for current, again DC square I 1 square plus I 2 square plus I 3 square, and these V 1, V 2, V 3 and I 1, I 2, I 3 are voltage and current harmonics. So, VRMS can be represented by V naught square plus VRMS of 1, because you know that for a sinusoidal VRMS is V 1 by root 2, VRMS is V by root 2. So, when we will do square, we will get it as V 1 square by 2. So, we have represented it VRMS 1 square plus VRMS 2 square plus VRMS 3 square plus square root, and again in the form of current we will get it as this. So, the average power will be given by 1 upon T 0 to T V of t I of t dt, 1 upon T V of t we have represented it in this way, I of t we have represented current direction in this way. So, 1 upon T 0 to T V naught I naught dt, we will get it as V naught I naught dt plus 1 upon T 0 to T V n sin n omega t plus phi n I n sin omega t plus theta n, we will get it as V naught I naught, the t will get cancelled, plus half of V n into I n cos of n minus theta n, or we will get it as V naught I naught plus V RMS of n to I RMS of n to cos of psi n. So, this is the power. So, this will be the phase value, and RMS value we have seen that it is n by V n by root 2 and IRMS is I n by root 2, that I have already said. So, power factor is the ratio of average power to the apparent power. We know that power factor is defined as the ratio of average power to apparent power. So, apparent power is VRMS is into IRMS. So, which is V naught square plus VRMS 1 square plus VRMS 2 square, and IRMS is I naught square plus IRMS 1 square plus IRMS 2 square square root. So, power factor will come out V naught I naught plus VRMS of n into IRMS of n into cos of phi n. This is our average power that we have evaluated. Then apparent power is this one. So, this is how we can find out power factor for the signal. Now, we will find out steady state response of network to non sinusoidal periodic inputs. So, this is an example in which the waveform is given, this voltage waveform is given, is applied to the circuit which is shown here. So, obviously, this is a non sinusoidal periodic input, it is periodic, but it is not a sinusoidal function. So, we need to find out current in this circuit, we have to find out current in this circuit if the voltage V of t is applied to it. So, V of t, we all know that V of t is a periodic function, we can represent it with the help of Fourier series. So, when we will evaluate its Fourier series, we will get it as this value. We can also use the properties of symmetry that I have shown, that whether it is odd symmetry or even symmetry, depending upon the symmetry, sum of the part gets 0 and we have to evaluate only a n or b n depending upon the symmetry. So, after solving this, we have get the Fourier series of V of t as summation n equals to 1 to infinity 8 a by n square pi square sin n pi by 2 into sin of n t. So, this is the V t that we have obtained using Fourier series. Now, average current I of t obviously will be 0 because there is a capacitor. So, we all know that capacitor blocks DC. So, when capacitor blocks DC, it acts as an open circuit to DC. When it will act as an open circuit to DC, so I of t average current, its average current will be 0. So, its average current will come out to be 0. So, from figure you can find out that I of t, because the voltage, the same voltage is here, V of t, all are connected in parallel, and the same voltage will be across this, across this will also be the same voltage V of t. So, V of t will be equal to I of t will be equal to V of t divided by impedance, that impedance is represented by 20 ohm, and then minus j omega by 2 omega n, minus j by 2 omega n. On solving it, we will get it as V of t into 2 omega n upon my 40 square omega square n square plus 1 at an angle of tan inverse 1 upon 40 omega n, that is imaginary part by real part. So, this is our angle and this is the magnitude of the current. Now, by substituting the value of V of t, we know the value of V of t with the help of Fourier series, and we know the value of omega 2 radian per second. It is given that omega equals to 2 radian per second. So, what we will have? We will have I of t 400 by pi square, V of t is 8 a by n square pi square. So, 8 into 2. So, we will get it at 400 by pi square, n equals to 1 to infinity 1 upon n square sin n pi by 2. So, this is value of I of t 2 omega n 1 upon 1 plus 40 square omega square n square sin of n t angle of tan inverse 1 upon 40 omega n. On solving this, we will get it as 1600 by pi square summation n equals to 1 to infinity n under root 1 plus 6400 n square sin n pi by 2 sin n t and an angle of tan inverse 1 upon 80 n. So, this will be the value of current I of t in time domain. Now, this is another example in which we have to find out the average power supplied to a network if the applied voltage and resulting current are given by, we have given voltage, we have given current, and we have to find out Vrms, Irms and power factor we need to find out. So, total average power, we all know that total average power is the sum of the harmonics power. So, power is half 200, that is 200 into 15 and the phase difference between these two is 60 degree. So, we have written it as cos of 60 degree. So, half of 200 into 15 I am using this formula that we have derived earlier, 200 into 15 into cos 60 degree. Then we have 60t, so 150 into 20, 150 into 20. The difference between these two signal phase difference is 45 degree. So, cos of 45 degree. Then we have 100 into 10. So, we have 100 into 10 and the phase difference between these is 30 degree. So, we will have cos of 30 degree. So, we will get it as half 3000 into 0.5 plus 3000 into 0.707, cos value is cos 45 is 0.707 plus 1000 into 0.866. So, we will get it as 2243.5 watt. This is the RMS value that we have obtained, sorry, this is the power that we have obtained, or we can say total average power. Now, we will calculate RMS value, VRMS. VRMS we have derived. So, this is VRMS V naught square plus VRMS 1 square plus VRMS 2 square plus VRMS 3 square and square all is under root. So, we will use this formula. So, we will have 50 square plus 200 square by 2 plus 150 square by 2 plus 100 square by 2 and we will get it as, and all this is square root. So, we will get it as 196.85 volt, get it 196.85 volt. Then RMS value is 15 square by 2 plus 20 square by 2, current 15, 20, 10 and we will get it as 19.04 ampere. So, this is the RMS value of current that we are going to get. Now, apparent power, because we need to find out the power factor. So, we have to find out the apparent power and true power. True power we have calculated as 2243.5 watt. Now, apparent power will be VRMS into IRMS. So, VRMS is 196.85, IRMS is 19.04. On multiplying these two values, we will get it as 3747.98, 3747.9 volt ampere. So, this is apparent power. Now, power factor, we know that true power to the apparent power ratio, true power is 2243.5, 3747.9 and then it is 0.6. So, we are writing, so we get the power factor as 0.6 and we are writing it as lagging because current is leading in this. So, we will get it as 0.6 power factor lagging. Now, this is the next question. So, the current in an RL circuit with R and L is, current is given to us, current दे रखा है and we have to find out effective applied voltage, average power and we have to find out the power factor of the circuit. Again we have to find out average power, power factor and effective applied voltage. So, you can see that from this diagram we can see that its value is 15, it is like 15 sin omega t plus 10 sin 3 omega t plus 5 sin 5 omega t. So, from the equation of current we can say that we have a fundamental, this is fundamental, then we have 10 sin 3 omega t, this is third harmonic because we are getting 3 times of omega, this is third harmonic, then we have 5 omega, this is fifth harmonic. So, for fundamental harmonic we have R1 20 ohm, XL1 omega into L. So, it will come out 2 into 300. Then we have Z1 equals to R1 plus J XL1. We will get it at 20 plus J into 600, 600.33 at an angle of 88.09. So, this will be the value for R and L circuit. We have applied a voltage. So, this is for fundamental harmonic we have obtained as Z1. Now, for third harmonic R3 will remain same, because R3 is 20 ohm, XL3 L into 3 times of omega. Now, it will be multiplied by 3 omega. So, 2 into 900 we will get it as 1800 of ohm. So, Z3 which will be equal to R3 plus J into XL3 we will get it as 20 plus J into 1800, or we can write it in polar form as 1800.11 at an angle of 89.36 degree ohm. Now, for fifth harmonic R remains same, XL will be multiplied by 5, get it as 3000 omega, or Z5 is R5 plus JXL5 will get the value of Z5 as this one. So, effective applied voltage will be 15. So, we have the value of current. So, V equals to IR, we are using V equals to IR. So, I is 15 sin 3 omega sin 300 t plus 88.09 degree, and it is multiplied with Z1. So, for the fundamental harmonic we have Z1. So, we have multiplied this. For third harmonic we have Z3, we have multiplied. For fifth harmonic we have Z5, we have multiplied in current equation. On solving this we will get it as these values. Now, effective value will be again V1 square by 2 plus V2 square by 2 plus V3 square by 2, get it the effective value as 17750.05 volt, and effective value of current that we can evaluate from here only 15 square by 2 plus 10 square by 2 plus 5 square by 2 plus 10 square by 2 plus 5 square by 2, we will get it as 13.228 ampere. Now, average power will be this one, V into I into cos of the difference is 88.09 degree, then 1800 into 2 cos of 89.36 degree, and for fifth harmonic phase difference is 89.96 degree. So, this is our average power and afferent power. V effective into I effective, we will get it as this, and power factor will obtain it as true power to the ratio of apparent power as 0.013 lagging. This is the same way we can obtain power factor. Now, the next is how we will use Fourier transform for our circuit analysis. So, for example, this circuit is given RC circuit, and which we have given as R 1 kilo ohm and C is 1 millifarad, and we have applied an impulse signal. Here. So, in frequency domain we know that if we have a Vi of t, in frequency domain it will be Vi of omega. If we have V naught t, it will have V naught of j omega, or Vi of j omega you can say. Then for a capacitor, impedance will be 1 upon j omega c. So, by using voltage divider rule we can write it as Zc of omega divided by R plus Zc of omega into Vi of omega, or 1 upon j omega c divided by R plus 1 upon j omega c into Vi of omega or Vi of j omega. Vi of t will be equal to del of t, that we have said. So, Vi of omega equals to 1, we all know that del t has a Fourier transform of 1, del t has a Fourier transform of 1. So, we will get it the value of V naught omega as 1 upon 1 plus j omega R c. V naught omega will be equal to 1 upon 1 plus j omega R c. So, this is the output voltage in frequency domain. Now, R c is given as 1 kilo ohm. So, we will get it as R C as 1. So, V naught of omega we will get it as 1 upon 1 plus j omega, or we can write it as 1 upon under root of 1 plus omega square. This is our Fourier transform of V naught of omega. When we will plot this, we will get it as V naught of omega equals to 1 upon under root of 1 plus omega square. So, on increasing omega, its value is decreasing. So, it can also be verified from the mathematical expression. On increasing omega, the value is decreasing. So, output is decreasing on increase in omega. So, it is passing the low frequency signal, and it is its magnitude is getting 0 with the increase in frequency. So, this RC circuit can be used as low pass filter. So, this RC circuit can be used as a low pass filter, in which it is allowing lower frequency to pass and obstructing higher frequency to for not to getting pass. So, V naught of omega 1 upon 1 plus j omega, and if we will see in time domain, we will get e to the power minus a t u t. So, this is the output in time domain. So, we can analyze the signal in both time domain and frequency domain. So, this signal, so this is the this was the circuit we have studied in frequency domain. In frequency domain, it is obstructing low frequency and it is allowing higher frequency to pass. So, there is some cutoff frequency which is also known as omega c. Cutoff frequency. So, before cutoff frequency, it is allowing the signal to get passed, and after the cutoff frequency, it is obstructing the signal. So, this is how we can utilize Fourier transform in the designing of low pass filter. We can look it better, we can look better in the frequency domain as compared to time domain. From time domain, we get the signal like this, we get the output as this. We cannot analyze with the help of this what should be the cutoff frequency, what cutoff frequency should I design. We cannot design depending upon the time domain. So, we can design easily with the help of frequency domain. This is the advantage of Fourier transform. Now, again I have changed the value of, I have changed the position of R and C. Now, we are calculating the value of V naught here. Again we will use frequency divider rule. So, we will get it as j omega R C, we will get it as R output R divided by R plus 1 upon j omega c into V I of omega. Del of t will have a Fourier transform of 1, R value is 1 kilo ohm and C value is 1 millifarad. So, we will get it as 1, R C value is 1. So, j omega R C by 1 plus j omega R C can be written as j omega by 1 plus j omega. We will get it as j omega by 1 plus j omega. Now, when we will plot it, its amplitude will be V naught of j omega was j omega by 1 plus j omega. When we will find out its amplitude, omega upon में under root 1 plus omega square. So, when you draw this, when you draw the output in frequency domain with respect to omega, we will get the signal like this one, we will get the signal like this one. So, on with the increase in frequency, so it acts as a high pass filter. From this frequency domain or frequency spectrum of the output, we can say that it acts as a high pass filter, where it is allowing the higher frequency to get passed, because amplitude is significant at higher frequency and less than at omega less than omega c, it is attenuating the signal, it is attenuating the signal at less than when omega is less than omega c. So, this is how we can obtain this is how we can use Fourier transform for designing of any low pass filter or high pass filter and various other application of Fourier transform. It is just a frequency domain and we have many advantages of frequency domain designing. This is one of them, how we can see with the help of Fourier transform low pass and high pass filter, and how cutoff frequency can be obtained depending upon the value of R and C. So, this is the reference book that you can use for studying the application of circuit analysis using Fourier series and Fourier transform, and thank you so much.